on the moves by Republicans to go nuclear. America's in crisis. We know that. We can feel it. This week, the crisis seeps even more deeply into the halls of the United States Senate by what the Republicans are trying to do. Senate Republicans are so hell-bent on cutting taxes for billionaires, they're now willing to detonate the rules of the Senate, violate norms and traditions, and break their word to get it done. Republicans are doing something they said they'd never do. They're about to go nuclear. Republicans know their so-called current policy baseline gimmick won't likely fly. It's hocus pocus. Even a right-wing Republican, Chip Roy, called it fairy dust. So now they're getting ready to decide for themselves which rules of the Senate to follow and which rules to ignore. They know that this is so fallacious, so ridiculous, and was ruled against them by the parliamentarian when Trump was president the first time, that they decide they're going to break the rules, the norms, their word, because they're so frenetic, frothing at the mouth, almost, to give tax breaks to their billionaire buddies. It's a low day for the Senate. By ignoring the parliamentarian, Republicans are going nuclear. They're trampling all over rules that have governed the Senate for decades in order to give massive tax cuts for their billionaire friends. Whatever happened to those promises we heard from Republicans, including the Republican leader, that they wouldn't touch the Senate rules? Not 3 months ago, Leader Thune stood right here on the floor in his first address as Republican leader and said, quote, "One of my priorities as leader will be to ensure the Senate stays the Senate." Well, that sure isn't happening right now. He has indicated in the past, he has indicated repeatedly, Senator Thune has, that he would not topple the 60-vote threshold they're now seeking to undo. So I guess when it comes to cutting taxes for billionaires, suddenly Republicans don't care much about the Senate rules at all and don't care about breaking their word, what they promised they would do when they came in. But frankly, this isn't just a fight about Senate procedure. This is much bigger. This is about Republicans being afraid to tell Americans the truth behind their agenda. Republicans know that if they make Donald's tax cuts permanent through this current policy baseline, they will add $37 trillion to the debt in the next 30 years. $37 trillion. About as much as the total debt we've accumulated over the last 240 some odd years in this republic. Amazing, horrible, with horrible consequences. Our children will be saddled with soaring interest rates and a crippled economy. The ultra-rich will become even wealthier, and Americans who live paycheck to paycheck will suffer more. Republicans know their agenda is deeply unpopular with the American people. Donald Trump knows it too. That's why he sends out all these smoke screens every day to try and divert our attention. Greenland, Panama, Gulf of America. He knows it. They all know it. They're just too afraid to have the debate. They won't come here on the floor and say the vast majority of their tax cuts are for the wealthiest of America. They won't dare say it, but it's true. That's who the Republican paymasters, these rich billionaires who want their taxes cut, that's what they want, and that's what they're doing. They're afraid to admit they're taking away Medicaid from millions of Americans. 70 million Americans benefit from Medicaid. So instead, they go nuclear in a self-serving effort to hide the truth, use phony accounting, fake math, which will hurt us. They're increasing the deficit by a lot, no matter what paper they try to slide before us. They try to hide the cost of their billionaire tax cuts. It's not going to work. As in Wisconsin, across America, the American people will see right through it.